Good evening. Happy 2025. Today I just want to go over this YaberAuto YA90. This is a power bank, air inflator, and then also a jump starter. I received this. This is actually my second one. I received this through a shipping error. They told me to just keep it. So I have left it in the box. I've had one that I've been using now for a couple of months. It's actually charging this GoPro right now. But I'm going to kind of go over the pros and the cons of this. And I paid $100 for it. It was advertised as $200, but I've never seen it be above $100 on Amazon. So we'll kind of go over a few things. Take it out of the case here. So this is going to be the specs. I want you to kind of take a look at that, especially the milliamp hours. I think it's 28,000 something, 26,000 something. All right, so packaged very nicely. This is going to be all of your accessories in here. This is going to be your cigarette lighter DC output here, which I actually use quite a bit for charging my RC batteries. Of course, you have your USB to USB-C cable, USB-C to USB-C cable, and this one you use for charging the main unit, or you can actually use it to charge other devices, and it is a quick charger. I think they rated it 65 watts. I'm not sure if it's that high, but it's definitely a faster charge. These are going to be the jumper cables. Something I want to note on is this. Very, very thin. What is this? 8 gauge. Okay. And this is supposed to jumpstart a, what, 12-liter diesel or something like that and produce 6,000 amps of cranking or of power going to the battery. Well, that's not happening through those. And another thing too, very, very cheap quality and very reminiscent of these I got off of a Schumacher unit, probably 10 years ago. And ironically, same exact outside of this. Same exact. I think these are, oh, they chimped out on this one. You got a 10 gauge ground and then an 8 gauge power. Just noticed that. Anyways, you got your air hose, which is pretty cheap, very low quality, and we'll get into some issues with that later on, especially with some of the videos of actual using this thing, how hot this gets. Got an air needle for a ball, a couple of things for floats, whatnot. Quick start guide. All right, now to the good stuff. If I can get it out. And I do actually use this case quite a bit. It works pretty well. And we're going to get it out of the way for now. All right, so this is going to be the unit here. So I'll go ahead and turn it on. It's just coming at 72%. And it does take about 3 to 4 hours to charge. It's not too incredibly long. All right, so we'll go ahead and try this again here. So when powered on, this battery 72 out the box. Again, I haven't touched this unit here. So right here, and that's one thing, very hard to read. Obviously, you'll figure it out pretty quickly. Even harder to read is that, right? Can't see nothing. But this is where your plugs are, which obviously USB-C, DC out for your cigarette lighter, and then your 2 USBs. But I don't know if they specify which USB is what, because I can't read it. So anyway, got power down, hold it. Got a flashlight, press it, strobe, red strobe, SOS, or I think the other ones were SOS, excuse me. And then it powers off. If you want to power it off without switching to all of them, just hold it down again for 3 seconds. Going over this, so that's gonna be, oh sorry, gotta hold it down. You're gonna go into your tire menu. This is gonna be for your inflator. So right now you can see it's at bar. I don't want that, so I'm gonna go over here to M-U. I'm gonna hold that. It's gonna go down to PSI. Okay, that's what I want. Right now it's set for car, so I can switch through them with same MU button. Motorcycle, which they're both the same PSI. Bike, ball, or this is just any one you want. This is just a generic. You can set it whatever you want, but technically you can set any one of the other ones to whatever you want. So kind of stupid. Set your PSI like this. It does have a live read. When you're airing up, it'll tell you what the current PSI is in the tire, ball, whatever you're airing up. But with that being said, the smaller the unit you're airing up, the more inaccurate this is going to be, because I aired up some motorcycle tires with it as well, and it is very inaccurate. But with that being said, it still stops when it's supposed to, even though it doesn't read what it really actually is. So this is going to be for your jump start. Power back on. This is going to be for your jump start here. To use this, basically, get my hands away from there. You're going to want to hold this down. You hear a click, and then you're ready to jump start. Pretty simple. One bad thing about this, you can't get out of any of these units. You can't go, well, you can switch between them, but it won't allow you to escape out. So even if you hold that, it just turns on the flashlight. All right, so now we're going to touch on a few things on it, which I'm going to have to use my cheater sheet here. A couple things are, as you saw earlier, this thing is rated at 26,800 milliamp hour battery, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is not anywhere near the case. But if you also notice right next to it, it's rated at 99.16 watt hours. Call it 99 watt hours. This is a 12 volt unit. This is what we're putting out, right? We're jump starting batteries. We're using DC power to power items. So 12 volts, that's about 8,000 milliamps. And that would make sense, because I've tried charging my dead phone from completely dead to full charge, and I can't do it twice off of the same charge on this. So that would be roughly about 10,000 milliamps. So it makes sense to me. So 26,000, I don't know where the hell they came up with that. But outside of that, as far as for the DC charger output for the cigarette lighter, that is 160 watt setup. With that being said, you know, I paid $100 for this thing. You know, was it worth it? Yeah, I needed it for an overland expedition, and I needed an emergency unit. I tested it, everything worked good. Never had to use it, thank God, but I've tested it since then, airing up tires and motorcycle tires, and just kind of seeing what it can do. Honestly, I kind of use it more for a power bank than anything, but it is definitely a good emergency unit. It's not something I would necessarily rely on, but now that I have two of them, you know, I should be safe. But anyway, I have some footage of airing up a few tires. We'll probably get into that, and then I'll get back with you, maybe with a few more specs and stuff, just for the people that really want to know some of the details. But overall, I mean, $100, you can't beat it. If you're looking for a jump starter, you don't need an air compressor and an emergency light and all this extra stuff, battery pack, which I mean most of them are going to be a battery pack anyway, but then go for like a NOCO or something like that. This is like, again, this is an emergency situation. It works great powering USB items, especially camping, stuff like that. Like I said, I charge my phone. I use it to charge my RC batteries while I'm out. I use it to charge the GoPro. It works great for that. But again, like I said, we're talking 8,000 milliamp hour battery. It's not big. So, but it works. So, and then again, this is something really got to be concerned with, because we got some really, really, really hot temps coming down to around here on there, but it's still together. So. Okay, so right now, this is going to be kind of a real world scenario for me. Tires are both down to 25 PSI, and I'm wanting to air them up to 35. I'm just doing the 2 right now because honestly, I don't think it's going to make it further than that. But just to show you where we're at, saying 26 right now. Let me check the other one. $25.5. So basically, we're going to start this off airing them up. In my previous attempts of airing up tires, this gets really hot, so I'm kind of expecting it to shut down and not make it through both of these. But battery's at 100%. That's another concern too. I want to see how much battery I use blowing both of these tires up. We're going to set the pump to automobile. Of course, you can switch between the various ones, and you can adjust the pressure as well, but 36 sounds good to me. So we're gonna come over here, we're gonna get this lined up. All right, that's at 36 PSI. We're at 86% battery right now. We're actually at 37.5, so about a 1.5 PSI off. I'm gonna move over here and air up this other tire. All right, that one's at 36 now. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect it. We're at 69% battery, so not bad. Looks like we could probably do all 4 of these, but wouldn't have much room for nothing else. And 37.5, so at least it's consistent on its shutoff. They were both 1.5 PSI over. Did get up to about 250 degrees. This is pretty hot. Coming all the way out to about right here. The unit itself is not hot.
That's why I put that box underneath there, because this looks like where it pulls its air in and helps cool, so I wanted to get that off of the ground. But this cable is definitely hot. I have a feeling if this gets too much hotter, we would definitely have issues with this. This is not a very high quality cable. All right, so my final thoughts on the YaberAuto. So overall, I guess did a little bit more than I was expecting. Outside of the air hose getting really hot, I would definitely take a break after 2 tires, because that gets much hotter. I can only imagine that connection is going to come loose or that hose is going to blow. But outside of that, and it does its job. I don't have any video of jump starting cars, unfortunately. I did do a few at my job, a few that pulled in on the drive that had dead batteries. So I did verify that it will jump start a car. Now, I didn't get to jump start a completely dead battery to see if that boost function is going to work or not. But realistically, just knowing what I know about this and going off of the battery connectors, the size of the battery, I mean, this will get you through most everyday vehicles. Now, you start wanting to try and jump start a F250, F350, or 3500, or getting into an actual truck diesel, I would be hesitant to rely on this. A little Volkswagen diesel or a little sedan diesel, something like that, probably be fine. Most gas engines probably up to 6 or 7 liters, I would imagine it could probably handle. But if again you need a jump starter, this is not what you want, okay? But it will suffice if you need it, and that's why I got it. I needed all 3 aspects of it, and this just came as a package that was good for me. A couple other things. So powering it on, your power out for your power bank. Now this is going to be based off of power supply or power demand. So if you turn this on and you plug something in and it cycles on and off between either charging or whatever it may be, using a refrigerator as an example, obviously this isn't a power refrigerator, but it will automatically turn itself off and not turn back on when that power demand is needed again, okay? So to bypass that, you take and you hit that power button 3 times and your out will blink. So that puts it into continuous power, meaning this will not stop providing power to these ports regardless of power demand, okay? A good example as well, I guess, is my battery charger for my RC batteries. So the display does not draw enough power from this for this to stay on. So if I don't put this in continuous power and I don't get all my settings right before I start to actually charge a battery and put a demand, it'll turn my charger off. So that's something to keep in mind. Obviously, 3 times, turn it off. Pretty simple. But not a bad little unit. 600 watt LED. I don't think I failed to mention that prior. They claim 92 hours of use for the LED, which, I mean, LEDs don't draw a lot of power. I could see that probably getting pretty close. Got a little carry handle here, which I'm not really sure if I'd ever use that, but this is going to be where your air hose goes into. Now, I would avoid trying to use the air hose without an actual line hooked up in a tire, just because that diaphragm, you may rupture that diaphragm without any pressure behind it. This is going to be for your jump start cable there. But overall, $100, not a bad deal. Probably wouldn't pay more than $100 for it, but I guess technically I got 2 for $100. Even better deal.
So to go touch on excuse me. This thing's supposed to uh, all right, so